Hi guys, it's Ariel here from Fix My Books, and today I'm going to show you how to minimize your penalties and interest with the CRA if you're kind of late on filing or paying. Okay, so in this scenario, this is related to HST. So most business owners, they would have kind of a rough idea of how much HST they'll be owing at the end of the year, right? So this is a really basic calculation. You had 100 grand in sales, you charged 13 grand in HST, 40 grand in expenses, so you paid 5,200 in HST. So your net owing based on your estimates is 7,800. So if your period ending, meaning the end of your HST period, which is you need to know this date so it goes to the correct period ending. Let's say it's December 31st, 2021. So usually the HST return and the payment is due the next month on January 31st, 2022, right? Because our period ending was December 31st, 2021. Usually it's the month after. Sometimes it's not, depending on the client. So for quarterly remitters, this is definitely going to be the month after. For annual, sometimes you get 2 to 3 months after your year end. So let's say that you make this payment of 7,800, the estimate that you owe, on January 15th. And then once you actually did your bookkeeping and got everything sorted, you figured out, hey, I actually owe 9,100 and not 7,800. So you underpaid by 1,300. And so the underpayment of 1,300, it will start accumulating interest on Feb 1st. So the day after the filing and the payment was due. So this is the amount that you will be charged penalties and interests on, not the full 9,100 because you already remitted 7,800. This is just the amount that's owing. So this is the way to minimize your penalties and interest with the CRA if you haven't gotten your bookkeeping done on time. Now, in this other scenario down here, same thing. We estimated that you were going to owe 7,800, but you actually figured out that you only owe 7,150. So what happens to the $650 that you overpaid? So there are 3 different scenarios that can happen. So the first scenario is that you will get a refund from the CRA for this amount because you overpaid, which is very unlikely. They haven't been giving out refunds recently, like cash refunds that they will give towards your deposit in your bank account, right? They haven't been doing that. So the most likely scenario is that they will either credit this towards your other taxes owing, meaning let's say you overpaid the $650 in your HST account, you owe $3,000 in your income tax account, then they will credit this towards the $3,000 that you're owing in your income tax account. It could also be your payroll account, just whatever you owe them, they'll credit it towards whatever is owing. Now, if you don't owe anything with your payroll or income tax account, then what they'll do with the $650 payment is they'll credit it towards your future HST, right? So let's say you paid this in 2021. In 2022, you'll see that there's a credit of $650 already in your HST account for 2022, which means whatever you owe for 2022, you can underpay that by $650 if they credited this towards your 2022 HST owing. If you owe any amount towards previous HST years, let's say 2020, you didn't pay completely, right? They can credit this towards the previous HST years as well if you're owing on that. Okay, so how do we make this payment? So the way to make this payment is either by going through the CRA My Payments page, which you'll see over here. I'll link it down below. The only thing with the CRA My Payment thing online is that you can only pay through debit. If you want to pay any other way, like credit card or whatever, you're going to have to pay using a third-party provider like Plastic or Pay Simply, right? That's the only way to do it because the CRA only accepts debit. So how do we do this? So just click Payments for Businesses, make a payment, GST, HST, click My Payment, Pay Now, again, GST, HST, and this is where the, make sure you click Interim. Okay, so this is where this is very important. The period ending, you want to make sure it goes to the correct year because if you mess it up and put it in a previous year, they will charge you penalties and interests, and then you're going to have to request that the payment be moved to the correct year, and then they will reverse the penalties and interests. So it's a headache. Make sure you get the correct period ending date. So just enter your business number over here, RT0001, right? 2021, December 31st. And then the amount is 7,800. Click next and then just follow the payment prompts. So with the other payment processors as well, like Plastic, you're going to need the same information, right? So why is this being so annoying right now? So you're gonna need the same information. So same thing, you're gonna pay GST, HST. It's gonna take you over here. It will ask you for the period ending, you know, like your business number and things like that. This might be a better way to show you guys. So you're gonna pay HST, make an installment payment there. See, it's going to ask you for your email, your business number, your business name, period ending, and payment amount. So this is very important. Again, the period ending is very important. You do not want it going to a different year. Just make sure, I mean, you can reverse it, but then you're just going to give yourself a headache of like reversing it, calling them, telling them, oops, I made a mistake. And then they're like, okay, it will take like 180 days to reverse it. And then you're waiting until they reverse the penalties and things like that. So save yourself the trouble and just make sure that you get the correct dates when you are paying the CRA. Okay, so that is the best way to minimize your penalties and interest if you make at least a small payment in advance based on the estimates you have. And then at least here, you're only going to be charged penalties and interest on whatever amount that you owe instead of the full amount of like 9,100, right? So imagine the penalties and interest on 1,300 versus 9,100. So you're saving at least all that money, right? So I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you always get notified whenever I upload new videos to my YouTube channel. And once again, this is Ariel from Fix My Books, helping you fix your books.